Keep it a two-game series against the Astros. Alfonso Soriano against Dave Bush, and Bush starts him with a breaking ball, and away we go. Bush is 1-0 this year, a 4.36 earned run average, and this will be his second appearance against Chicago. Has a playoff kind of feel to it, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Nice crowd, and a far cry from what the Brewers experienced on the last road trip. Some kind of an exciting atmosphere here tonight.
And just a beautiful night for baseball as well. The roof is open for the second consecutive game here at Miller Park. Soriano's off to a great start for the Cubs. He's always a dangerous hitter to lead off a game. Talk about a guy who can take a crowd out of it. Soriano has that big leadoff home run potential. That one high in the air and playable for Braun. And one man away here in the first, and let's give you that Chicago Cubs starting lineup. Soriano, then Theriot, followed by Kosuke Fukudome, swinging the bat exceptionally well. Aramis Ramirez, Michael Hofftower, and Milton Bradley in the middle of the order for Piniella. And then Mike Fontenot, Coy Hill, and Randy Wells making his first career Major League start against Dave Bush.
And the Piggly Wiggly scouting report, all 5 of his starts have been good ones, so he's on a roll right now. He's been very effective inside with his fastball, and only 1 walk in his last 2 starts.
Theriot with a line drive base hit. So a base runner for the Cubs here in the first inning.
Now, the one thing you have to do against this Cub club, like a lot of clubs, but these guys will hit the bottom of the ballpark. Be careful first pitch. That one right down the middle.
Here's how the Brewers stack up defensively. This is the regular lineup for Ken Maka with Braun, Cameron, and Hart in the outfield. Hall, Hardy, Weeks, and Fielder around the horn. And Kendall catching Dave Bush. Mike Rivera still on the disabled list. So it's Kendall back there, and behind him is Tom Hallion, 16-year veteran Major League umpire. Kosuke Fukudome. He is off to a similar start to what we saw last year, and has made it a point that this year Fukudome will not tail off as the season continues.
Yeah, this guy couldn't find playing time, and right now with Derek Lee out of the lineup, he's batting third. That's how good he's been. Hitting almost 300 and a .434 on base percentage. So he's been drawing a lot of walks.
Well, the Cubs are banged up a little bit. Milton Bradley still nursing a groin injury. He's in the lineup. Aramis Ramirez in there as well, despite some calf issues. Derek Lee misses his 3rd consecutive game with a bulging disc in his neck. He's had a tough time with that injury, and it just flares up and he's unable to go. So Lee on the shelf tonight, and of course tonight's scheduled starter for the Cubs, Carlos Zambrano, on the disabled list, so he's going to be down a couple of weeks for Chicago.
Yep, and Giovanni Soto not playing tonight.
Both of these teams pitching well. They are getting a lot of deep starts from their starters. You know, the old stat, the quality start. The Brewers and the Cubs are tied for the league high in that category, both with 17 quality starts. Quality starts when you go at least 6 innings and give up 3 or fewer runs. I think it was a stat created by an agent, but it does indicate how a starting pitcher is going along outside ERA.
Yeah, whether you like it or not, whether you think it's a good stat, it's one that's used quite a bit. Arbitration, free agency, when guys are going after contracts, clubs use it. Bottom line is, both of these starting rotations have been pretty good.
The Brewers have played 1 more game than the Cubs. This is game number 30 for Milwaukee as Fukudome swings and misses. Not something he's done a lot of this year. Speaking of kind of off the wall stats, there's a stat out there right now called the chase rate. How many times you swing at a pitch outside the strike zone, and believe it or not, Fukudome the best in the league not chasing pitches.
No, he's been walking a lot. I mean, I guess that goes in hand, but that changeup, a pretty good one from David. Bush started against the Cubs on the 11th of April.
6 1/3 in that game, gave up 3 runs. Really hasn't had a bad start this year. Fukudome slaps one foul. Count remains at 2-2.
Another off-speed pitch, breaking ball. Fukudome able to foul it off. That's one thing that Dave's been pretty good at, coming out of the bullpen early in the game with pretty good stuff. And when he struggled last year, it was usually first, second inning before he had good command of his curveball.
Runner takes off. Fukudome strikes out. Kendall's throw is not in time. Theriot steals the base. A good peg from Kendall, but Theriot a fast runner, and he steals his 7th base of the year.
Yeah, Theriot picked a pretty good pitch. It was a breaking ball. Good pitch by Bush down in the strike zone, and Fukudome and out. Curveball. Base runner gets a pretty good jump on it. Ball doesn't get to the catcher very quickly. That's why Theriot had such an easy time getting in there. Another very good throw by Jason Kendall, but another stolen base. He's had a lot of bang plays down at second this year.
Yeah, that's the 16th stolen base against Kendall, and you could say probably without a doubt 90% of those not on his head. Well, speaking of quality starts, check the Firestone leaderboard up above, and the Brewers and the Cubs at the top of the list with 17 apiece. This is game 29 for Chicago, game 30 for Milwaukee. Aramis Ramirez with 2 outs and a runner at second. Ramirez just on fire to start the year. 369 average, 4 home runs, 16 RBIs. On base percentage of .423 to start the day.
And playing a very good third base, only 1 error. Ramirez is a guy that you have to really pound away, keep the breaking ball down in the strike zone. He's a dead pull hitter. You make a mistake on a curveball like that, ordinarily he's going to hit it pretty hard.
Two and two. Now, Ramirez doesn't have the at-bats to register yet among league leaders. He's just outside it. But if he had enough at-bats, plate appearances, he would be 3rd in the league in batting. Been nursing a calf injury off and on. Bush trying to go through a scoreless first and get the Brewers to the plate against the young Wells. 2-2. Full count. And you know the Cubs would love nothing more than to give their young pitcher, making his first career major league start, an early lead here at Miller Park.
And take a little bit of pressure off the converted catcher, who's going to make a start tonight. Always helps to get a lead early.
Theriot at second, full count on Ramirez. And a little bouncer out to Hall. So a good start for Dave Bush. This crowd ready to roar. Here come the Brewers. second straight day with this lineup for Ken Maka, Ricky Weeks, Corey Hart, and Ryan Braun at the top of the order. Braun's been hot. His last 15, he has 5 home runs and 19 ribbies. Fielder Cameron and Hardy in the middle. Bill Hall, Jason Kendall, and it's Dave Bush.
And the Piggly Wiggly scouting report on Randy Wells. He was outstanding in AAA. A 277 earned run average and was 3-0. Features a sinker and a changeup. He's also got a slider that he's starting to throw pretty well and throws strikes. He's very aggressive. He works quick and likes to pound the strike zone.
Well, Wells has appeared in 4 major league games. This will be his first career start. He actually pitched twice against the Brewers last year. It was a September call-up by the Cubs. Wells 6'5". He's an Illinois native. He was drafted as a catcher out of Southwestern Illinois Community College. And the Cubs converted him back in '04. So you've got a matchup of 2 former catchers, now big league pitchers tonight in Wells and Bush.
Still learning how to pitch, not only at the minor league level, now he's got to learn how to pitch at the major league level. 6'5", pretty big catcher.
Belleville, Illinois. And relatively young on the mound, as Rock mentioned. This is only his 5th year as a pitcher. And amazing that he's made it to the big leagues already. One thing you can say about Randy Wells, he's a winner. This guy has not lost a game since last July in AAA, and he started this year 3-0 and a sparkling ERA at 2.77.
Yeah, 19 hits in 26 innings. I mean, anytime you have less hits than innings pitched, you're doing a pretty good job.
Strikes out Weeks.
Ordinarily, early in the ball game, a pitcher that an offense hasn't seen has an advantage. Second time through, a little bit different. We'll see how it works out tonight.
So 1 gone, and here's Corey Hart. Hart back in the 2-hole now. He's been bounced around the batting order with a couple of knick-knack injuries, and Hart wraps one back up the middle, a base hit. Jumping on the first pitch, and the Brewers with a base runner here in the first.
They tried to throw first pitch slider to Corey Hart, ended up right down the middle of the plate.
Let's set the Cubs for you defensively. Soriano in left, Fukudome in center with Milton Bradley in right. Infield is Aramis Ramirez, Ryan Theriot, Mike Fontenot, and Micah Hoffbauer in there for Derek Lee. And Coy Hill catching tonight. Coy Hill had a good series against the Brewers the first time around. Giovanni Soto not able to answer the bell tonight. Coy Hill's been getting a lot of playing time, and he's been holding his own. He's batting .300 this year, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, Soto having a rough start. Only hitting about 160. He had Milton Bradley not doing much offensively.
And Soto's been nursing a shoulder injury. That's what knocked him out of the first series here against the Cubs. A man on for Braun. Ryan had a scare on the last road trip, at least early in the road trip. Upper back injury. Was hit by a pitch against the Pirates here at Miller Park last week, and played a couple of days, and then he had to sit for a couple of days. They went in, grabbed some images of his back, an MRI visit for Ryan Braun. Then he arrived at Pittsburgh after some testing on Monday and delivered a big hit, a hit that tied the game, and Braun's been okay ever since. I think once it was determined that there was no structural damage in Braun's back, that freed him up a little bit.
And I think more than anything, it scares a player when you have an issue like that, particularly with the back. Once he knew he wasn't going to hurt it anymore, he was fine.
Braun had a career day in Cincinnati on Wednesday night. 6 runs batted in, hit a grand slam in that game. Milwaukee coming off a road trip where they won 3 out of 4. Hitters count for Braun, and a check on Hart at first. Ryan opens the day tied with Fielder for the club high in RBIs. And those two among league leaders in that category. Ball 4. Braun's been doing a lot of that this year. And that sets the table for Prince Fielder with 2 on and 1 out here in the first inning. Well, Brewers fans, it's text time. We're taking your text questions during the game and post-game show. All you got to do is text us at 234-234. The keyword on that is Brewers. Be sure to give us your first name and city. And again, that short code is 234-234, keyword Brewers. And no Danny Goki text messages, please. He's already left the building.
He's gone?
You would have thought he wanted to see maybe a couple of pitches.
You would think, huh?
Now he's enjoying it. Big Brewers fan. Milwaukee's newest favorite son. Great weekend in Milwaukee. A lot going on. Weather is beautiful. Roof is open tonight. And a big crowd on hand here. Now Fielder ahead in the count, 2-0.
And talking about a guy with a good eye at the plate. We talked about Fukudome in the top of this inning, but Prince Fielder, as good as it gets. He's walking an awful lot, 25 times. He's third in the National League.
That one's in there for a strike. Prince had 280 on the season, hit his 5th home run in Cincinnati on Wednesday, and had a couple of RBIs yesterday that tied him with Braun for the club high. 24 ribbies thus far for Prince, and an on-base percentage for Fielder of .435. That has been the significant story, not just for Prince, who's symbolic of kind of a new approach by these Brewer hitters, but up and down the lineup.
Now realizing that if they're not going to throw him strikes, he's better off just taking his walks instead of making an out. Swinging at a bad pitch.
Fielder on the ground, over to cut it off. He is Terrio. His only play is first. With the big shift on, no chance for a double play, but that's a big out for Randy Wells. Out number 2. The runners do advance to second and third, however.
Now to go down is a 6-3 put out, but Terrio fielding that one just like a second baseman. There you see Terrio, and that's why there wasn't an opportunity for a double play. There's nobody there. But an easy out at first.
Well, here's Mike Cameron now. You can look to the Brewers' success when they really started to take off as a club. And now a ball club that has won 12 out of their last 16 games. It was that moment when Cameron was flip-flopped in the order with J.J. Hardy. Cameron was put into the protection position behind Prince Fielder. Cameron with 18 RBIs this year. It's no secret he likes to swing at the first pitch.
And even though he's been pretty patient at the plate as well, I mean, he's swinging strikes, except for the one he just swung at, of course.
Second and third for Cameron with 2 outs. The Brewers trying to put some runs on the board against this young pitcher. J.J. Hardy would be next. And that's popped up. Playable for Bradley. And the inning ends. So the Cubs, they strand a pair, and it's still scoreless.
Get in on that. The next time you got to join twitter.com/FSWisconsin, and you can get all the information you need on the Brewers. And the next time I'll be giving out free tickets. So good day today for twitter.com, guys.
All right, Telly, thanks a lot. Telly working a meal out of the deal right there.
I told you he'd be by food, didn't I? You thought I was joking?
Micah Hoffpower leads off for the Cubs. In there tonight for Derek Lee. Hoffpower, a .313 hitter, a couple of home runs, 9 RBIs. And that one's hit high in the air to center field, playable for Cameron. And Dave Bush has one out here, the second. Rock, I bet when you woke up this morning you had no idea it was Twitter Day, nor Danny Goki Day, did you?
I didn't. But it's been a good day, though. It really has.
It's always good to be back in Miller Park to see all of these people support this team. Brewers were just in Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, and it rained pretty much every day on the road trip, and you could count the fans on one hand. Miserable to be outside in those cities the last 4 days. I think the Brewers felt it a little bit. You know, Brad Fisher said as much the first day in Pittsburgh. Coming off a sellout crowd last Sunday, takes a little while to readjust.
That's what they get for not putting a roof on their ballpark. We are very spoiled by the fans here that come to Miller Park.
Expecting sellouts all 3 days of this series.
It creates just a tremendous environment to play a baseball game. Has a big impact on these guys too. Don't think it doesn't.
Yeah, Ricky Weeks on Brewers Live today had a little chat at the rail with Ricky today, and he said as much. There were folks lined up to get in the parking lots today as early as 2 o'clock. And a huge crowd outside tailgating before the game. Craig Kashawn, I don't know if he's recovered since. From the Brewers Live set out to the parking lot to the interview room. He's been busy.
Yes, he has. He always is. Yeah, Dave just trying to establish that curveball just a little bit up in the strike zone.
And Bradley hits that one high in the air, playable for Hart. Hung a curveball, but Bradley got under it, and 2 up and 2 down for Bush.
Hey fans, if you can't watch your Brewers on FS Wisconsin, you can always catch the game on your computer with MLB.tv. The ultimate baseball experience featuring 100 out-of-market games every week live on your computer, and catch those you missed on demand. For more details, go to Brewers.com, where baseball is always on.
And a full schedule of games tonight. 15 games on the docket this evening. All night games tonight. Mike Fontenot with 2 outs. Fontenot given the job at second base every day this year. Cubs traded away Mark DeRosa to the Indians in the offseason. That opened the door for Fontenot. And teaming up with his old college buddy Ryan Theriot.
Yeah, both of those guys up the middle amongst the toughest outs on this roster for the Cubs against Milwaukee. This guy gives you a good at bat every time up.
Curveball breaks his bat. And it's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Dave Bush. Brewers coming up. J.J. Hardy will lead off when we continue from Miller Park.
will lead things off, and J.J. Hardy's become the hitman Hardy since his 1 for 19 slump. Take a look at his numbers over the last 6 games. He's raised his average 51 points, and his 9 RBIs over that span gives him the most RBIs among shortstops in the National League and the second most in the majors, with 16 total runs batted in. And guys, since taking a mental break for a couple of games, Hardy has come back more confident and comfortable at the plate.
And that's the truth. And only Marco Scutaro of the Blue Jays has more RBIs at the shortstop position than J.J. Hardy. He laughs now when you talk about the quote-unquote mental break. That's what his manager said it was. And he needed a couple of days on the last homestand. He's been on fire since. Hardy has a 5-game hit streak going. When you think about the low batting average, and checking in today, it's a .211. To be that productive and not get the kind of hits you're looking for, that says a lot about Hardy and his ability to drive in runs.
He said the game was going real fast and really couldn't slow it down because, just a matter of a mental thing and just kind of grinding away. He hasn't made too much of a mechanical adjustment in his swing. It looks like his arms aren't being held out quite as stiff as they were early in the season. Maybe relaxed a little bit more, but it's all about that mental approach, just kind of relaxing a bit at the plate. Sometimes when you want to get out to a good start and you don't get that good start, you press. And it's up to the hitting coach, in this case Dale Swain, just to make sure these guys just stay on course.
Well, on that road trip, J.J. with 9 RBIs. Had a 4 RBI game against the Pirates, and then a 4 RBI game, check it, a 3 RBI game against the Reds. Also drove in a run yesterday. Hardy was 1 for 4 with a double, and J.J. draws the walk. And the Brewers have a base runner here to start the 2nd inning. Time now for the Carsoup.com email the booth question. Kirby Anderson in Brookfield wants to know, what changes have you seen recently from J.J. Hardy?
Can we rewind the last at bat? Yeah. I mean, just kind of relax a little bit more. I mean, not much of a mechanical change. I think his hands are just a little bit more relaxed, not stuck out as much, not quite as much, but little subtle changes mechanically. And when you have a radical change, with your mindset up there, it can make a big difference.
It's all about feeling comfortable, isn't it?
And guys that go up there, maybe if you don't feel comfortable, you have a couple different stances. I mean, you really can't detect them too much. They're so subtle. You maybe close your stance up maybe an inch. You might hold your hands up maybe a half an inch more. And to the average fan, you really can't tell.
Now, I'm always amazed at how ball players are so dialed into their mechanics, their body, what they feel. I mean, when you do something every day for 8 months like these guys do, you can feel the slightest change. And confidence is everything in this sport. Everybody's got the talent. Everybody who's here has talent. It's feeling confident, kind of that mental edge that really makes the difference. And that's why Ken Maka wanted to give J.J. Hardy 2 days and called it a mental break. He was a player. Ken Maka played in the big leagues. He knows what it's like.
You just stop it from snowballing on you. Just sometimes it's just like a runaway freight train. You can't stop it.
It's like calling a timeout in the NBA on a 15-0 run. Get in there and regroup a little bit.
Yep.
Bill Hall still trying to find his timing. Missed a couple of games with a hamstring injury. Cramping in the hamstring. Once that was the diagnosis for Hall, you knew he was going to be back in there soon. Wasn't a strain, wasn't a pull. 2-2 to Billy with Hardy over at first.
Yeah, Billy excited in that game in Cincinnati. finally able to get back in there, and he lasted only 4 innings. He got double switched out of the ball game. That was last night, actually.
And you asked Billy about it, and he says the advice I would give is to not make the final out of an inning when your starting pitcher is struggling. Just missed. Good eye.
He comes walking on the plane and said, hey, good 4 innings.
He was 0 for 1 last night. He walked and struck out. And then Braden Looper had to be taken out of the ball game, and a double switch was made. Counsell came in. Hall had the rest of the night off. Got him. Threw him a breaking ball, 3-2, and Hall is down on strikes. Second strikeout for Randy Wells. By the way, tonight's game on Fox Sports Wisconsin also being presented in high definition. For a complete listing of FS Wisconsin HD cable providers, go to foxsports.com, keyword Wisconsin. The beautiful pictures, and what a great night for baseball it is in Milwaukee. Mother's Day weekend here at Miller Park. They'll break out the pink bats on Sunday. One gone for Kendall. Kendall fast approaching a milestone. He is now 8 hits shy of 2,000 in his career.
Got a new look tonight. Clean shaven. He's got the what do you call that? Got the stinger going under the lip.
A lot of guys clean shaven tonight.
Yeah.
I noticed Corey Hart lost the Abe Lincoln beard, which is unfortunate. They gave him a nickel to do it.
You think Mrs. Hart had something to do with that?
Maybe coming home, you mean? Good point. Dave Bush hanging on to his, though. That took too much work. Kendall a bouncer, and it's over the head of Ramirez. And Hardy on his way to third base. Kendall's on his way to second. Soriano's throw is late. Kendall safe. A hustle double.
Well, Jason's did one of those. I mean, he hit some hard hit outs on that recent road trip. A bunch of hang with him. I counted about 3 of them. Good plays defensively. Pounds this one into the ground right over Aramis Ramirez at third base. See him even with the bag and couldn't get to it. And a hustle double by Jason.
Well, second and third, that's a big play. Kendall making it to second not only puts 2 in scoring position, but it also takes the Cubs out of a double play opportunity. And that forces Piniella to bring his infield in here with Dave Bush batting. It's those little things, the little base running moves. And Kendall doesn't make it to second without busting it out of the box.
And don't think he wasn't thinking about that. You don't expect the pitcher to drive in a run, but you don't want to have him hit him with a double play. You get to second base, worst case scenario, you have Ricky coming up with 2 outs.
And a matchup here of 2 former catchers turned pitchers. Bush against Randy Wells. Hardy over at third. He walked to start the inning. Kendall with a double just a moment ago. And for the second straight inning, the Brewers have 2 men aboard with just 1 out. Two and 2. Bush has a couple of hits this year. He's 2 for 12 this season. And a career 133 hitter.
Had a good pitch to hit that last strike. Right down the middle. You can see Bush walking around a little bit, figuring I should have hit that one better. Cubs have their infield in here. And the 2-2.
Full count. Dave Bush in his career has only walked twice. One of those earlier this season. This would be a big spot. Wells talking to himself. Got him. Strikeout number 3 for Randy Wells.
I might have swung at ball 4. A little bit up in the zone, but it looked pretty good to Bush. Pretty close. Got to protect the plate with 2 strikes, but I think it was out of the zone.
Ricky Weeks with 2 outs. Weeks a strikeout victim last inning. Second and third, 2 gone. And Ricky pops it up. Over to make the plays. Hoff power running out of room, but he's got just enough. And the inning is over. The Brewers strand 2 more. Still scoreless at Miller Park. As we head to the third, a terrific play by Hoffpower to end the inning. Farm and Fleet, by Piggly Wiggly, shop the pig and save, and by Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin. One of the best parts about coming home, being with our great crew here at Miller Park, led in the chuck by Chris Withers and Michael Odino. Glad you're with us tonight. The Brewers and the Cubs, game 1 of this 3-game series. Coy Hill set to lead off for the Cubs. Brewers in the first 2 innings stranding 2 runners in each of those innings. Some opportunities lost against Randy Wells. Meanwhile, Dave Bush coming off a 1-2-3 inning in the second, and he's only surrendered the 1 hit. Ryan Theriot singled off of him in the first. Changeup from Bush.
And he's got them all working. The cutter, the sinker. Curveball is still a bit of a work in progress tonight. He's thrown some good ones. He's hung a couple. And that was a pretty good change in a fastball count.
And the 2-2 to the Cub catcher. Lays off, ball 3. Hill is a switch hitter. And he has made the most of his opportunities this year, with Soto banged up a little bit. with a shoulder injury. Hill batting .303 with a home run and 6 RBIs. His home run came here at Miller Park. Bush strikes him out to start the 3rd inning.
I like that ring-up call by Tom Hallion. That's what you call an effort. That's that late tail on the fastball from Dave Bush. Starts off the inside corner. Gotta like that ring-up.
One of my favorites.
I like a guy that enjoys his work.
That's a full rotation right there. Not so much on strike 1. Saves his best bullet for the strike 3 call. 16-year Major League veteran Tom Hallion.
A lot of fun to watch unless you're the guy getting rung up. Hey, walk back, say, hey, don't enjoy it so much. Especially the catcher.
Randy Wells in his first at bat in the big leagues. An easy out. 2 up, 2 down for Dave Bush. Back to the top of the order now. Soriano. Big day in baseball all around. It was a big news day, as a matter of fact. Alex Rodriguez returning to the lineup today, and Rock, on the first pitch he sees against the Orioles, he deposits a 3-run home run.
Yeah, the Yankees need him to get going. That's for sure. They're having a tough time. Tough start for the Yanks.
So Rodriguez returns to the Yankees after hip surgery this spring. Also, Bob Melvin officially released by the Arizona Diamondbacks, relieved of his duties, I guess the best way to call it. And Melvin will be replaced by A.J. Hinch.
Old catcher.
He's 34 years of age.
Pretty young, huh?
Soriano pops it up. Well, Dave Bush, he's retired 8 straight and 9 out of 10 to start this game.
Hey, fans, elect your favorite Brewers to the 2009 All-Star team. Vote early, vote often, and vote Brewers now through July 2nd at Brewers.com.
Now, go ahead. Oh, look at them. They know about the tally light and everything.
The what?
The tally. See, you don't even know about the tally.
The red light?
It's the red light. Corey Hart set to lead off. Hart singled his last time up. One of 2 Brewer hits. He and Jason Kendall with the base hits. In each of the first 2 innings, the Brewers have had runners on base, 2 runners aboard with 1 out. They have been unable to score. Randy Wells came up in the Cubs system. Talked about him catching in the Cubs system his first 2 years of pro ball. Then he switched to the mound. He was picked up in the Rule 5 draft last year by Toronto. Toronto kept him in the big leagues about 3 weeks, and then, although he was pitching all right, they were going to send him back to the minor leagues, so that made him available to the Cubs again. They had to return him to Chicago, and he put up a big year last year in AAA in Des Moines. Hart, a little flare. Bradley dives. Did he catch it? Yes, he did. Milton Bradley. A juggling act in right field, and he comes up with a baseball for out number 1.
Well, he got a late break on it, but able to make up for it. He got a glove underneath. Can't really tell if it hits the ground. It's in the glove. Pops out, bare hands, holds it up. Boy, pretty close. Looks like he did have it, though. Nice call.
Yeah, Phil Cuzzy was the umpire on the call, and he was out there deep into right center to make that call. So out number 1. And here's Braun. Ryan walked his last time up. And he hammers that one down the line. Great play, Ramirez, and he's hurt. And the ball still laying there. Braun will wisely hold up at first, but Ramirez is hurt.
Yeah, it looked like he was holding on to his bicep. Boy, what a play down the line. Bicep, tricep, something like that. Boy, he is in bad shape down there, man.
It has been that kind of year for the Cubs this year. They have dealt with a number of injuries to their star players.
And down the line, look at this catch. Fully stretch out. Once he put all of his weight on it, must have pulled something in that upper arm. That's got to hurt.
Ramirez immediately clutched his tricep. Well, he is in a ton of pain.
He is. That's about as much pain as you see a guy on a baseball field right there. A tremendous catch, but right away he knew he popped something.
Well, Telly will try to get a report for you as soon as it becomes available. Ramirez will be taken out, and Lou Piniella with more injuries to deal with. Derek Lee not available tonight with neck spasms, and Ramirez will be taken to the clubhouse here in the 3rd inning.
Aaron Miles might go over to second base. Got to move Fontenot around perhaps, or maybe the league put in Aaron Miles at third. You don't know.
That looks like the move here. Fontenot to third, and then Aaron Miles to second. Well, Ramirez has been dealing with injuries all season. Aramis had a calf injury earlier this year, knocked him out of a few games. And now an arm injury. Wells will get a few warm-up tosses here. And we'll be back in action momentarily. By the way, that goes as an infield hit for Ryan Braun, who is on our Powerball home run leaderboard. He and Cameron and Weeks all tied for the top spot with 6 home runs apiece. The Brewers as a team have hit 35 long balls this year. Braun's been on twice, a walk and an infield single. So here is Prince with 1 out. Cubs put that shift on again for Prince. It was that shift that cost him a double play last time with Fielder at the plate.
And this time the third baseman, Mike Fontenot, was able to get a little bit closer to second base. Couldn't do that last time. There was a man at second. Good throw might get him there. That wasn't even close. Looked like Ryan was leaning a bit.
Yeah, Braun has been picked off this year. He got picked off immediately after being drilled by Jeff Karstens against the Pirates. Now, the book on Randy Wells is that he is a very good athlete, obviously drafted as a position player, so fields his position well. He likes to work fast.
And as a former catcher, understands the benefit of holding runners.
Fielder launches one. Prince Fielder caught at the track as Bradley, with his back up against the wall, makes the play for out number 2.
Yeah, you knew he didn't get it. He didn't get it all. It was off the end of the bat. You knew right away just by Prince's reaction.
And a big swing and a big sound.
Just a millimeter. Right there, he knew he didn't get it. But he hit it in a pretty good spot.
So 2 outs. A near miss for Prince, and here's Mike Cameron. The Brewers do not steal many bases anymore. After opening day, it has been virtually non-existent, although Braun has 2 stolen bases this year. As Cameron pops it up. That one's going to get into the seats.
They have 4 stolen bases on opening day and 5 since. They've got 9. They've been thrown out 8 times.
Yeah, the success rate is not where Ken Maka wants it. So much so that Ken Maka has pretty much grounded his players. Meaning he's put them where they are, station to station.
Yeah. And with the power that's in this lineup, Ken Maka does not like to make outs on the bases.
Only the Braves with fewer stolen bases than the Brew Crew. They led the National League in stolen bases one day. They were on the board. Cameron, a line shot right back through the box, and Cameron with a single, second hit of the inning for the Brewers, and for the 3rd straight inning, Milwaukee with 2 on. 2 outs in this frame, and here comes Hardy.
They have fastball right down the middle, up in the strike zone. And Cameron shoots it right back through the middle. That's exactly where you want to put it. Pitch away, up in the zone with 2 strikes, just bang it right back to where it started.
Now the Brewers have the right guy at the plate. He's been one of the hottest hitters on the club here in the last few days. And Wells starts him with a breaking ball strike. Braun and Cameron aboard. Good speed running bases right now. JJ with a 5-game hit streak. He walked his last time up. Shoots that one to the right side. Hoffpauir will take it to the bag. And again, the Brewers strand 2. They've left 6 men on through the first 3 innings. Still scoreless. Against Dave Bush. Neither one of them have allowed a run. The Brewers have had a ton of base runners, unable to cash in. Bush has retired all but one, and the story tonight so far, Aramis Ramirez injured as he made a play on Ryan Braun's shot down the line. No report just yet. We are efforting that, and we'll get it to you as soon as we know, as Ramirez exits this game in the third inning. Ryan Theriot leads off, and he swings to the first pitch, and it's 1 out for Dave Bush. And that leads us to our Aflac trivia tonight. What Major League Farm team did Randy Wells face in his last AAA start for the Iowa Cubs?
I got to take myself out of this one.
In your pregame preparations, you would have certainly looked that up.
I actually called that manager of that ball club, didn't get an answer.
Sent you into voicemail. You should Twitter him or tweet him or whatever you do.
I have to tweet him on Twitter. I finally have it.
It is Twitter day, by the way. Fukudome with 1 out. And Bush keeps pouring the strikes in.
Got good command of that curveball this inning. First pitch to Theriot, a curveball. He flied out. And that was a good one to Fukudome.
Did he go? Yes, he did. Fukudome, who has not been chasing much this year, has chased twice against Dave Bush and a couple of strikeouts.
That curveball once again. Dave Bush has used that effectively tonight. The only base hit that he's allowed is on a fastball. Curveball, changeup, cutter, all working pretty well.
Well, instead of Aramis Ramirez, it's Aaron Miles. Miles, a former Cardinal, always been tough on the Brewers. Slaps that one off the end of the bat. Hardy right there, and Dave Bush is rolling right along.
And, it actually, being in a pink bat, it represents Susan G. Komen as well. And, I got a lot of feedback from, people's families and people's mom that does have breast cancer, and, telling me just how uplifting it was.
Now, Bill Hall, in consecutive years, had home runs with the pink bat, and Major League Baseball and the Susan G. Komen Foundation taking a big swipe at breast cancer coming up on Sunday. It is a great cause, and Hall was right at the forefront of that cause. He's a huge contributor to that foundation. His mom, Virgie, is a cancer survivor. She'll be here Sunday. We'll get a great chance to visit with her again. she has a better smile than even Billy does.
Yes, she does.
You know where Billy got it from.
Oh, yeah.
So one of my favorite days here during the baseball season. Raise a lot of money for cancer research.
Yeah, just about everybody knows somebody that has been touched by breast cancer. Tough thing. And Major League Baseball actually auctions off those bats after they're used. And a lot of the proceeds, a lot of the money from that goes to the Susan G. Komen Foundation.
All right, our Aflac trivia once again. What farm team did Randy Wells face in his last AAA start for the Iowa Cubs? As a matter of fact, in his last 2 starts, the Nashville Sounds, the Brewers AAA club. So you can bet there was plenty of phone calls made between Dale Swaim and Ken Maka down to Don Money, AAA manager in Nashville. He only pitched 3 innings. He knew he was coming up at that point. That was on Monday, so they almost treated it like a side session. 3 perfect innings for Randy Wells.
Yeah, calls down to Don Money and Chris Bosio, the pitching coach down in Nashville. What better guy to talk to about a pitcher than Chris Bosio?
Well, for a guy making his first major league start tonight, the Brewers had plenty of video and information. Not only did he make the previous 2 starts against their AAA club, but he pitched twice against the Brewers last year. Half of his major league appearances have been against Milwaukee. That's where Joe Crawford comes in. Anytime there's a new pitcher on the mound, a guy who hasn't been in the big leagues, the Brewers director of video scouting, Joe Crawford, he'll fire off a couple of CDs. He'll make pitch by pitch sequences for everyone.
All the players beating his door down early today. And Dale Swaim, for that matter. That's a guy I always go to every day to talk about the pitcher that the Brewers are facing that particular day. What he expects out of the guy.
Kendall into the gap in left center. That one's well hit, and Fukudome runs it down. Kendall thought he had an extra base hit, but Fukudome stabbing it at the last moment for out number 2.
Cubs outfield's been pretty busy last couple innings. It was a long way to get that one. Soriano not the greatest range out there in the outfield, so the pressure all over Fukudome. Made a nice running catch. Milton Bradley made a nice catch last inning.
And you like the way Fukudome ran that one down. He continued in his stride till the last moment and then reached out and made the catch. Sometimes you'll see outfielders, they'll reach out in mid-stride and they may take 2, 3, 4 steps with their arm out, and it slows them down.
You'd make a good outfield coach. You listen well to Eddie Cedar.
That's what I used to get yelled at all the time. That's why they moved me behind the plate. For the incredible lack of speed. That has something to do with it too.
Yeah, you got to be able to run a little bit to play the outfield. Not so much behind the plate.
And then once you get behind the plate, you have an excuse why you can't run.
Right, you don't need to run. But if you can, it's a bonus.
Bush out to Terrio. And that is the side. Randy Wells, a clean inning here in the 4th. The Brewers have stranded 6 base runners. The Cubs providing some good defense here lately. from Darlington begins tomorrow, 6 Central in high definition on Fox. Plenty of automobiles out there tonight. And you can just see downtown Milwaukee, a few miles east of Miller Park. Boy, the parking lots were loaded today. I mean, packed to the gills. Tailgating going on beginning at 3 o'clock. The lots opened up and folks were having a great time out there today. Kind of reminded me of the home opener against the Cubs. Nothing like a Friday night in Milwaukee when the weather is like this. Temperatures soared into the 70s today. A lot of sunshine. Well, Dave Bush has retired 11 straight, 12 out of 13 in this game. The only blemish, a Ryan Theriot single with 1 out in the first. It's the only base runner thus far. Bush has 3 strikeouts and trying to improve upon a very poor record against the Cubs in his career. He's 1-7 against Chicago.
Well, if he keeps throwing the baseball like he is today, he's not going to have too much of a problem. He hasn't really gotten too much of the white of the plate so far.
Off power sends one high in the air. This is playable. That has been a theme tonight for Bush. Pop-ups. And 1 gone here in the 5th.
Hey fans, stay after the Brewers Marlins game on Thursday and catch the UW Panthers take on the Butler Bulldogs right here at Miller Park in a doubleheader. For more details, call 414-902-4000. A doubleheader. Major League Baseball and Division I college baseball.
1 hour after the game, right? UWM. It was a big all-star voting session at UWM last week. That was good. That went well. A lot of the students out there voting. You're a regular contributor to UWM, are you not?
Yes, I am. Once a semester.
Daughter Mallory, a student there. Ball and a strike on Bradley.
Scott Duffick, the head baseball guy over there for the Panthers. Used to be Jerry Augustine, our own Jerry Augustine.
Bradley rips one right field. That is gone. So Milton Bradley breaks the seal in this game. Only the 2nd hit Bush has given up. And only the 5th hit all year as a left-handed hitter. Bradley makes it 1-0 Cubs.
Yeah, mistake by Dave. He got a lot of the plate with that cut fastball. Check it out. Right down the middle of the plate. And Milton Bradley, who's off to a very tough start, hits another one against the Brewers.
It's only his 3rd home run. 2 of those against Milwaukee. Fontenot over to first. Nice play, fielder. And 2 outs. Tonight's game being presented in high definition. You can find out the complete listing of HD cable providers for Fox Sports Wisconsin. FoxSports.com, keyword Wisconsin. One to nothing Cubs. As Bradley goes deep for the 3rd time this year, his 4th RBI. Line drive right at Hardy, and that's the inning. So Fontenot and Hill see 2 pitches, and down they go. But Bradley puts the Cubs on top. Ryan Braun will hit when we come back. Top of the order. Can the Brewers hit their way back in it? Cubs and Brewers, the I-94 rivalry renewed here in Milwaukee, and round 2 this year on a night that was jump-started by the American Idol star Danny Goki singing the national anthem. Dave Bush has been very economical today, only given up 2 hits. One of those a home run by Milton Bradley, however, in the top of this frame. And now the Brewers have to play catch-up against Randy Wells. Telly reporting that Ramos Ramirez dislocated shoulder. As Weeks a swing and a miss. Here's the play, Rock. Ramirez taken out in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, stretched out, and you knew right away that there was something going on. Grabbed his hand, then his tricep. Actually grabbing the tricep, trying to take some pressure off of that shoulder. You could tell right away that that was not something was going to go away anytime soon.
So a dislocated left shoulder for Ramos Ramirez. And he is going to be out a while, you can bet. So no Carlos Zambrano, no Ramirez, no Derek Lee. Giovanni Soto still nursing a sore shoulder. But Randy Wells in control here. Weeks back up the middle, a base hit. Now the Brewers are getting their base runners for sure. Milwaukee with a lead man aboard for the 2nd time against Randy Wells.
And tonight, time of the game winner is the Oak Center in Oakfield, Wisconsin. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a 2009 Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and our good friends at Miller Lite.
Weeks aboard for Corey Hart. Hart is 1 for 2, singled in the 1st inning. The Brewers have left 6 men on base. Left 2 men on in each of the first 3 innings. Last inning, Wells retired the side in order.
Well, you mentioned that the Brewers have been able to get their base runners, but have not been able really to elevate the ball with any real authority against Wells. Doing a nice job mixing it up. He's throwing a pretty good changeup tonight, and with that sinker getting some ground ball outs.
And Hart hammers one. It's played by Theriot. The flip to the back for 1 over to first, and a double play. Incredible play by Ryan Theriot, not just to stop the baseball, but to start a 6-4-3 double play.
Yeah, one of the best defensive teams in the National League a year ago, but pretty much in the middle of the pack to start this season. But this is a whale of a play by Ryan Theriot. A couple of inches away from 1st and 3rd, nobody out. Turns into a double play. You know Ricky's going to get to 3rd if that ball gets into center field. A game of inches.
That's the 3rd outstanding play tonight by the Cubs defense. Bradley, Fukudome, and Theriot here. And for that matter, Ramos Ramirez saved a double. He didn't get the out on Braun, but that was headed for the corner, and who knows how the inning shapes up.
That's what sinker ballers do. You're going to get your hits, but a lot of times if they stay on top of that pitch, that fastball that dives in on right-handed hitters, are going to get their ground ball and a good chance to turn 2.
Angel Guzman getting loose. There's a pretty firm pitch limit on Wells tonight at 100. He's at 82 right now. Has 2 outs in the 5th inning. He's given Lou Piniella all he could ask for. Coming up from AAA Iowa, the I-Cubs in Des Moines. Braun takes a strike.
Yeah, best case scenario you would think for Lou Piniella would be 6 innings. Still has a shot to get there at 83 right now.
Now, earlier this year in AAA, Wells took a no-hitter into the 7th inning. And he strikes out Ryan Braun, a pump of the fist. And the Cubs might have found something in this kid. Randy Wells, 5 shutout innings against the Brew Crew. And we head to the 6th, the I-94 rivalry. The Cubs lead 1-0. There's nothing stopping you. And by Aflac, we've got you under our wing. Welcome back from Miller Park in Milwaukee, and it's Bobby Scales pinch hitting for Randy Wells. A couple of guys who were together in AAA Iowa. Wells has done 5 shutout innings in his first career major league start, as Piniella decides to pinch hit for him here.
Yeah, he was in big trouble in the first 3 innings. The Brewers left 6, but after that settled down nicely.
Talking it over with tomorrow's starter, Ryan Dempster, who will match up against Gallardo. Well, Zambrano-like, you could say. 5 shutout. Piniella is good about, especially with young pitchers, making sure they leave with success. As Scales delivers one down the line. This is going to go for extras. Hart chasing it down in the corner. Scales on his way to third. And he's in there with a triple. Bobby Scales, after 11 years in the minor leagues, getting a chance to play. And he's come up big a few times for the Cubs.
They got that one just inside that right field line. Looked like a changeup. Be able to stay back just out of the reach of Prince, all the way down in the corner. I think the Brewers had him shaded a little bit toward right center. Check out this slide. Barely able to keep his foot on the bag. Really didn't matter. The ball nowhere near third base. Think he wanted third base. Almost dove right on it.
His first career major league triple. 31-year-old rookie. And the Cubs have a runner at third base to start this 6th inning. Soriano takes a strike. That one's hit high in the air to center. This is way back there, plenty deep to score the run. Cameron's going to make the catch. Scales scores easily, and the Cubs lead 2-0. RBI for Soriano, who has 18 now.
They got away with one right there. Not the location that Jason wanted. They wanted to bust him inside. Check it out. Watch where it ends up. Right down the middle of the plate. Bush lucky that stayed in the ballpark.
Leadoff triple. Comes back to bite the Brewers. Base is empty now with 1 out for Theriot. Final numbers on Randy Wells. He still has yet to give up an earned run in the major leagues. A hot one down to Hall. Nice play. Quick hands, quick reaction from Hall for out number 2.
And was playing in front of the bag, thinking that Theriot might drop down a bunt. So that ball got to him very quickly. We've seen Billy do that a lot this year. Get down on the knee, try to get as low as he can, get those eyes as close to that hop. You see a lot of catchers do that. Knows he has a lot of time and makes a good throw. You see catchers do that on a throw in from the outfield on the play at the plate. You try and get as low as you can to make sure the eyes are as close to the level of the bounce as you can get, so you can see it well. And Billy's been doing that quite a bit. You can get away with that at third base.
Fukudome wraps a base hit up the middle. A first pitch curveball, and Fukudome swings away and delivers with a hit. He must have been looking for it.
Yeah, well, Dave has been throwing some pretty good ones to him. He got him on a strikeout his last time up. Looking curveball first pitch. It had the plate, but it was down. Fukudome with a nice swing right back through the middle.
Most hitters won't even offer it a first pitch breaking ball. That's why they call it the get over curve. Fukudome was up there ready to hit. He delivers with a single. Second hit of the inning, and the 4th Cub hit tonight. Runner takes off. Kendall's got a chance here. The throw right on the bag, and Fukudome is out at second base. Kendall guns him down. The inning ends at the bag. And the side retired, but the Cubs score a run. Soriano drives one in. Now the Brewers down 2.
Then Aramis Ramirez, a nasty injury, dislocated his left shoulder, trying to stop a Ryan Braun hit. No one stopping Milton Bradley's home run. It was 1-0 at that point in the 5th inning. They had another one in the 6th, so it's 2-0 right now, Cubs. A change of pitchers, though, as Wells is out. A lot of breaks made by the Cubs, playing some good defense. What do the Brewers have to do offensively now, Davey?
Well, right now, offensively, they're going to be facing a pitcher they're used to. So what they're going to have to do now is try to manufacture some runs. get that leadoff hitter, try to maybe hit and run, but they got to start trying to manufacture runs.
All right, we'll continue to break down this ballgame, get you ready for our post-game show coming up on Brewers Live, and also follow us, twitter.com/FSWisconsin. Brian?
Okay, Craig, thanks a lot. Angel Guzman on to work for Chicago, his 13th appearance of the season. And a big power right arm from this hurler.
Yeah, this guy's mid-90s, a curveball and a changeup. You know, not much of a sink on his fastball like the one from Wells. So a bit of a contrast in styles here for the Brewers.
Fielder skies one to left. And Prince is 0 for 3. Well, Randy Wells, 5 shutout innings in his major league career, covering 4 major league games, 5 shutout innings as well, and 5 1/3 actually. All of those appearances were out of the bullpen. Tonight was his first major league start, and I bet he is glad he made the conversion from catching to pitching. He was the 3rd catcher in Single A for Chicago. The Sunday catcher in Single A usually won't get you far.
Then you go from a 3rd catcher to a big league starter. Good decision.
Mike Cameron now with 1 out.
Guzman's been throwing the ball pretty well for the Cubs. His last 3 appearances, only 1 run. That's 5 innings. This is a guy that will eat up a couple of innings for Piniella if need be. Bullpen struggled early in the season, but they've been much better lately.
But Guzman has not pitched in 5 days, which made the decision for Piniella to take Wells out even easier. He knew Guzman was going to pitch at some point. And the pinch hitter for Randy Wells, Bobby Scales, delivered with a triple. Scales scored the run that gave the Cubs the 2-run lead. Cameron down on strikes. Wicked slider from Guzman.
Yeah, good breaking pitch. When you back that up with that mid-90s fastball, it makes it very tough. Guy's had some injury problems in his career, but with pitches like that, if he stays healthy, he's going to be pretty good. Bullpen for the Cubs with an ERA at about 4.90, and a lot of that came early. Anytime you face the Cubs and you look at their starting rotation, not so much the starters that the Brewers are going to be facing in this series, but ideas get into that pen.
JJ has a walk and a ground out on his line tonight. The Brewers have out hit Chicago, but the Cubs with 2 runs on the board. Another nasty slider from Guzman, and throwing the breaking ball in the 90-mile-an-hour range.
Yeah, 91. That's incredible. That's hard. Very rarely do you see anybody throw a slider that hard.
Hardy stays alive. Guzman had Tommy John ligament replacement surgery in 07. He missed most of 07 and most of 08. Matter of fact, he came back against the Brewers last year. Pitched a little bit at the end of the season a year ago. And at full throttle here in 09. They must have put a hot ligament in that elbow.
And a lot of times it takes a full year to fully recover from a surgery like that, and you know, this is about that time for Guzman. And he looks like he's throwing pretty well.
Hardy launches one to left center field. This one's well hit, and it is gone. J.J. Hardy. A solo home run with 2 strikes and 2 outs. Wow. Number 5 for Hardy.
Yeah, breaking ball up in the zone right down the middle. Maybe trying to overthrow the slider. Watch out where it ends up, right down the middle. JJ puts a nice easy swing on it, just concentrating on staying on top of it. And you see the way his finish, never finishes that bat over his shoulder. That's how he gets that backspin.
And with that RBI, no major league shortstop has driven him more than Hardy. That's 17 on the year. And here's Hall. The Brewers within a run now. They finally score against the Cubs here in the 6th inning. A 2-out, 2-strike pitch. Hardy deposits it into the bullpen in left center. And Hall strikes out. A fastball from Guzman. Billy doesn't like the call. But J.J. Hardy puts the Brewers on the board. 2-1 Cubs. 6 in the books here at Miller Park. By Triple Hop Brewed Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. And by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Tundra Territory at Miller Park. And this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Brewers. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Sellout crowd tonight at Miller Park. First of a 3-game series with the Cubs. Chicago 2, Milwaukee 1. A couple of long balls tonight. Milton Bradley in the 5th inning. J.J. Hardy just a moment ago with 2 outs in the 6th. Hardy now with 5 homers. His hitting streak is now at 6. Aaron Miles leads off. Miles put into the game for Aramis Ramirez, who was taken out. Dislocated left shoulder. He did it making a diving stop on a Ryan Braun line drive. Miles was brought in to play second. They moved Fontenot over to third. This is Miles' second at bat against Dave Bush. Guzman gave up the home run to Hardy. How about the pitch count for Dave Bush, partner?
Great shape, 70 pitches, and we're here in the 7th inning. It's kind of what he's been doing. He's had a couple of single-digit pitch innings tonight. Early part of the ball game. That'll do it. Tony Castro very pleased the way his starting rotation has turned it around from the first 2 weeks.
Miles out to Prince. Out number 1 here in the 7th.
Come out to Miller Park for the Brewers Spring Madness Tuesday through Thursday as the Brewers host the Florida Marlins. You save 50% on certain seats. Hot dogs and small Pepsis are just $1. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or go to brewers.com.
One gone for Michael Hoffpower. 2-1 Cubs here in the 7th. Dave Bush's spot in the order is coming up second in the bottom of this inning, so this likely his last frame. And you know Ken Maka would love to get him through this 7th, have his offense regain the lead and give him a chance to win. As Hoffpower skies one to left. Ryan Braun with plenty of room, and it's out number 2. It was a big night for the Yankees tonight, Rock. They got a big swing from Alex Rodriguez. He returned to the lineup after hip surgery, hit a 3-run home run on the first pitch he saw. CC Sabathia went the distance. A 4-hit shutout of the Orioles. And Joe Girardi finally, after all of this time, had it work just like he mapped it out.
This is about the time that CC turned it around last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Had a rough April.
That's right.
Not a good starter, but certainly can finish a season.
Well, last time off, Milton Bradley went big fly in the 5th. Second home run against the Brewers this year, just his 3rd of the season. And that home run only his 5th hit from the left side all year. It's been a struggle for Bradley. Signed a big deal in the offseason, a 3-year deal with the Chicago Cubs. Bradley is awaiting a suspension, or at least an appeal of a suspension. That could come down at any point. Could come down as early as tomorrow even.
They bumped an umpire. Can't do that. What is it, a 3-day suspension?
A 3-day suspension that Bradley appealed. He bumped into Larry Vanover back in mid-April, on the 18th of April. Curveball struck him out. Bradley doesn't like the call, but Dave Bush rings up another one. 7 strong for Bush. Can his offense get him back in there? 2-1 Cubs. Brewers coming to bat. Cubs Randy Wells making his first major league start, pitched well. Dave Bush pitched well as well, but gave up a long home run to Milton Bradley. Aramis Ramirez dislocated his left shoulder. He is likely headed for the disabled list. J.J. Hardy finally put the Brewers on the board in the 6th. A 2-out, 2-strike home run against Angel Guzman. And that's where we are, 2-1. The Brewers have out-hit the Cubs 6-4. There's been some sparkling defensive plays in this game. And Guzman back on the mound. It's Jason Kendall to lead off. The pitcher spot is next. It looks like Counsell or Chris Duffy will move into the on-deck circle. And then back to the top of the order.
Yeah, you wonder if Duffy is going to go up there to bunt. If Jason gets on, if he doesn't, you like Duffy up there. If he gets on, he can steal a base. Probably the fastest of all of the bench players for the Brewers.
See the box score up above. The Brewers have had their hits tonight. 6 hits through the first 6 innings. Plenty of base runners. But Cub starter Randy Wells stranded 2 base runners in each of the first 3 innings. 0-2 to Kendall. Stays alive. Kendall doubled in the 2nd inning. Hit a ground ball that bounced over the head of Ramirez, and Kendall hustled his way to second. And Kendall goes, and he's got a little bit to say to Tom Hallion.
That happened to Jason last night, and all Jason is saying, he's not saying he didn't go, but why not ask for help down at first base? Jerry Crawford down there. It's awfully difficult for an umpire to watch the pitch and know if a hitter goes. That's pretty close. I mean, on a close play like that, you would expect an umpire to ask for help. That's all Jason was saying. He wasn't saying that he held up. He just said, why don't you ask for help? Back-to-back nights he's been rung up on a play like that.
As a matter of fact, last night, Kendall was called out in the 9th inning and had the same argument as Duffy now pinch hits. Boy, a tight one here at Miller Park. Villanueva will be next for the Brewers on the mound. Strike 2. 96 miles an hour from Guzman.
He's got a very nice, easy delivery. Kind of lulls you to sleep with that delivery and then just explodes out of his hand. Gets on you quickly.
Late life.
And then he's got that 90 to 91 slider.
Duffy is a pinch hitter this year, 1 for 5. And he watches that one go by. 2-2 the count. The Brewers start the day 3 back of the Cardinals in the division. 16 wins, 13 losses. Cincinnati winning over the Cardinals now 6-4 in the 8th inning. Two and 2 to Chris Duffy. Pinch hitter for the Brewers here in the 7th. Almost hit him. 3-2. Dave Bush goes 7 tonight. 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned. And as of now, he's on the hook for the loss. His offense trying to turn that around right here in the 7th.
Yeah, just love to be able to get Duffy on base. Great speed. If you find a gap, you might be able to tie the game. Always easier to steal on the bullpen ordinarily than the starting pitchers. Especially a guy like Guzman that throws 96 miles an hour.
And Duffy hangs tough. He's seen 8 pitches in this at bat. He's brought it all the way to full from no balls, 2 strikes. Broken bat, and Guzman plays it. No problem. 2 outs. Well, time now for our Home Depot doing more on defense. Been some terrific plays in this game. Hoffbauer up against the rail, made a nice catch. Milton Bradley juggled one but came up with it, and this was a key play. It started a 6-4-3 double play as Theriot laid out for one, and instead of first and third in that inning with nobody out, Theriot turned it into a twin killing. Top of the order now. Here's Weeks. Guzman has thrown 30 pitches, Rock. 24 strikes.
He's pounding the strike zone with good stuff. It's one thing you need, a guy coming in from the bullpen. You got to throw strikes. You can't be walking batters. And Guzman has not done that.
Two and one. Well, Ricky Weeks has plenty of power to tie it up.
And except for Ricky Weeks, he's been ahead of the count in just about everybody he's faced.
Aaron Highland will be next for the Cubs. 2 outs in the 7th. And Weeks, an excuse me swing, fouls it away. Looked like Bernie Carbo in the '75 World Series right there.
Yeah, you know you got good stuff when you have the count in your favor. Ricky's up there with a defensive swing. It was a slider. He was expecting fastball.
And down he goes. So Guzman, a 3-up, 3-down inning. Boy, he looks sharp tonight. 4 strikeouts for Guzman. 2-1. The Cubs still lead the Brewers at Miller Park. We head to the 8th.
$7 a.m. until 1 on May 28th. The first 500 men 40 and over who complete the screening that day get a voucher for 2 free Brewers tickets to a future game. I did that a couple of years ago.
Our Miller Lite, what's on tap? The Brewers and the Cubs back on Fox Sports Wisconsin tomorrow night. Great pitching matchup tomorrow. Rock Dempster against Gallardo. And Sunday afternoon, Jeff Suppan against Sean Marshall. And here's Carlos Villanueva. 2-1 Cubs here in the 8th.
Carlos been throwing the baseball pretty well. His 13th appearance so far this year. Has had very good command of his changeup in his last couple of appearances.
He'll face the bottom of the Cubs order.
Can I mention I did that prostate screening?
Yes, you did. And how'd that go?
Nothing to it. That's the biggest problem with those things. You don't know what to expect, you know, and
afraid of the test.
Yeah.
Well, that is a.
Glad I did it.
It's a great connection between the Brewers and Fredert. That's one thing the Brewers are so good at. A lot of community events and community services. They get behind them.
Yeah. Yep, giving back to the great fans that fill this ballpark every night. And don't think the organization doesn't appreciate it. Don't take it for granted.
Another sellout tonight. That's 4 consecutive sellouts. And the 6th sellout overall. 42,025. Fielder gobbles it up, and he'll take it himself. So Villanueva, the first out of the 8th inning. Fontenot is 0 for 3. And Carlos will face Coy Hill.
And a good changeup down and away gets Fontenot to roll over on it. Good pitch.
Well, pitcher spot coming up next. I'm kind of anxious to see who Piniella trots out there in a 2-1 game. Aramis Ramirez left this game with a dislocated shoulder. Derek Lee's been battling a neck injury, so he's not on the DL, but he's been unable to play. Hill, a switch hitting catcher, 0 for 2. He lined out last time up. And he serves that one. That's a fair ball down the line. Hill on his way to second. Hart's throw comes in late, and it's a double for Coy Hill.
I would imagine it's going to be Reed Johnson to get the pinch hit here. Well, you mentioned Giovanni Soto's been banged up. Really has been off to a tough start. They don't want to use Derek Lee if they don't have to, so it is going to be Reed Johnson.
Well, Piniella had Angel Guzman in the on-deck circle until that double. So Guzman officially out, and with a runner in scoring position, Piniella is going to take a shot at it here with Johnson.
Well, Guzman might have gotten an at bat had he been up there with 2 outs and nobody on. Holloman's been loosening up. You got 2 big arms out in that bullpen with Carlos Marmol and Kevin Gregg.
1 out, runner at second. And Johnson takes a strike. Well, they are still talking about that play Johnson made against Prince Fielder in the last series against the Brewers, robbing Fielder of a grand slam the final Sunday of that series. Bouncer out to Hall. Oh, dangerous pickup there, and he throws it away. And rounding third and stopping is Hill. Johnson into second. A costly error.
I'm not sure what happened there. The tough part of the play was over with. The backhand pick. It looked like Billy had a chance to get in front of it, but he backhanded it. Just stayed right there, backhanded it, and here's the easy part of it. Getting the throw over to Prince, not even close. And it's a good thing the catcher was on second base, or that would have been a run.
So Hall commits the error. That's the first error for the Brewers in the last 4 games. And they're going to go ahead and put Soriano on to load the bases here with 1 out. Boy, that is a huge error. Instead of 2 outs and a runner at second, The Cubs are going to have the bases loaded with 1 out, and Theriot coming up, a good contact hitter.
Yeah, they still might have walked Soriano with 2 outs with first base open. But now all Theriot has to do is hit a fly ball to get a run in. I think Billy threw that baseball a little flat-footed. Had plenty of time to get the runner. And not even close to Prince.
He kind of threw a slider over there, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, Villanueva has his work cut out for him now. The bases are loaded. And Ryan Theriot, a dangerous hitter in a spot like this. Quick trip to the mound for Kendall to go over some strategy here. Theriot runs well. He's a tough guy to double up. Stetter gets loose for Fukudome, who would be next. Well, Ken Maka is going to take the gamble here. He will play for the double play up the middle. A ground ball to the corner infielders might come to the plate. 1 out, 2-1 Cubs in the 8th. Little chopper, Villanueva scoops it up, throws home for out number 2.
A good pitch by Carlos. Pulled the string, and Theriot on the first pitch. And easy out at home plate. Well, thank you very much. We very rarely see Theriot attack early like that. That was a changeup and a dandy. Little squibber off the end of the bat. Key here for Carlos, just take your time. You have plenty of time to get the out at home. And he did.
So a big out for Villanueva. Base is still loaded. And it's Fukudome. And Ken Maka is going to play the percentages here.
It took him a while to get out there. I think that his problem, the thing that he was thinking about, the fact that Mitch Stetter has a tendency to walk batters. And you really can't afford that in this situation. Good job by Villa to get the out with Theriot at the plate.
And you can see Ken Maka say, nice play. Taking a break. Here comes Stetter with the bases loaded, and Fukudome coming up.
Terrace reserve seats for only $6. That's courtesy of Miller High Life. For available dates and to buy tickets, call 414-902-4000.
Well, a key error in this inning. Hall, a throwing error. Inning should be over. But the Cubs have the bases loaded. Mitch Stetter on to face Fukudome, but Lou Piniella counters.
Now, there's the issue for Ken Maka, those 7 walks in 10 1/3. It's all about throwing strikes.
So now Giovanni Soto, the National League Rookie of the Year last year, will bat with the bases full. And Stetter starts him with strike 1. Well, I wonder if Maka wanted to force the hand of Piniella. If he was going to make him use Soto in a spot like this, which pretty much renders Pinella's bench almost empty. Curveball on the ground to Hardy. And Mitch Stetter gets the job done. The Cubs strand bases loaded. And now the Brewers with a little momentum. They've got Hart, Braun, and Fielder coming up. Soto, and the Cubs leave the bases loaded. So here is Aaron Heilman. Been pitching for Willie Randolph's Mets the last few years, and he's on to work the eighth with Hart, Braun, and Fielder coming up.
Well, Heilman features a pretty good sinker. He'll throw a slider as well. In his 15th game, he gets used quite a bit. Off to a pretty good start, a .415 earned run average. We mentioned his bullpen for the Cubs early on. Had struggled. Heilman's been fairly consistent. 8 walks, 11 strikeouts in 13 innings.
Reed Johnson stays in the game to play center field. And here's Corey Hart to start it. The Brewers' lone run came on a J.J. Hardy homer in the 6th inning. Hardy did it with 2 outs and 2 strikes against Angel Guzman, who goes 2 innings and strikes out 4 Brewers. Corey singled in the 1st inning and then grounded into a double play in the 5th. That was that great play by Ryan Theriot at short. Hitters count for Hart. Brewers down a run in the 8th. And it's 3 balls and no strikes. And that's got his manager pacing.
And one of the reasons you don't see Carlos Marmol, he's been used back-to-back days, as has Kevin Gregg. Ordinarily, you'd see Marmol in this situation.
Ball 4. The Brewers put the tying run on to start the 8th inning. 4 straight balls from Aaron Heilman.
Just getting under that fastball just a little bit, misses inside, and in a 2-1 game, you walk the leadoff hitter with Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder coming up. That's why Luke Piniella shakes the head. Just can't do that.
Wendy's at the plate. Braun has been on base twice. A walk and an infield hit. It was his hot ground ball towards third that ultimately led to Ramirez leaving the game with a dislocated shoulder. That was back in the 3rd inning. Now Braun representing the go-ahead run in the 8th inning. And that one gets away. Hard on his way to second. And the fastest Brewer is in scoring position now with nobody out.
No, not even close. Now 5 in a row out of the strike zone by Heilman. That one goes in front of Coy Hill. Catcher's always fooled with a fastball down in the dirt. That's why he wasn't able to get down. You don't have time. You don't expect it in the dirt.
Wild pitch. 5 straight balls from Heilman. A base hit ties it. Outfield extremely deep against Braun. And Ryan hits one to right center. That one's well hit. Bradley going back. It's gone! Ryan Braun has put the Brewers on top. A 2-run shot. And Milwaukee has the lead just like that. That's what he does. He hits big home runs. And one of the biggest of the year. Braun puts the Crew on top.
Well, what do you say? Nothing to say to that. Kid comes up big in the biggest moments. The first strike that Aaron Heilman throws in the inning out of the ballpark. A lot of guys are going to wait around to see if he's going to throw a strike. Nothing doing.
3-2 Milwaukee. Fielder into the shift. Bobbled by Miles. Still time to get the out. Let's take you back to the home run. The Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Braun hits his club high 7th of the year.
Well, check it out. And it's the right field. There's a pitch a middle away. Ryan knew it right away. He knew he got it. The first strike from Heilman, and the Brewers take the lead.
How could you tell Braun knew he hit it out?
You think?
So here's Cameron. What a moment here at Miller Park. Well, you see that, Rock, your mind just goes right back to last year against the Cubs. Final day of the regular season when Braun hit an 8th inning home run against Bob Howery. And the Brewers would win the game and go into the playoffs for the first time in 26 years. Trevor time is coming up next. Cameron has a hit tonight. He's 1 for 3. Trying to keep it going here against Heilman. For the Cubs in the 9th, it'll be Aaron Miles, Micah Hoffpower, and Milton Bradley.
Brewers hanging in there. I mean, they weren't able to get much going in the first 5 innings. Good pitching keeps them in there. Another good start by Dave Bush, and once again, late offense by the Brewers. It's becoming a trend.
And Cameron strikes out. Out number 2 as Heilman gets Fielder and Cameron after the Braun homer. And that leads us to our Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin text question of the night. How many times can a player be sent up and down from the minors before they run out of options? Mitchell from Fond du Lac wants to know.
Well, 3 different years. You can send a guy up and down, 10 times if you want in 1 year. That's one option. You only get 3. That protects the player, actually.
So here's J.J. Hardy with 2 outs. All 3 of the runs for the Brewers coming on the long ball. Hardy hit one back in the 6th. And then Braun, a big home run to the opposite field a moment ago. Back in the 6th inning, J.J. with 2 outs and 2 strikes belted his Powerball home run number 5. And his 17th RBI. And Hardy pops this one foul, playable for Hill. And the side retired, but Ryan Braun delivers a big bolt to right center, and the Brewers have the lead, and it's Trevor time. Here in Milwaukee, as Braun puts the Brewers on top with his 2-run homer in the 8th, and Hoffman, his first appearance against the Chicago Cubs in his 6th game in Rock. He is a perfect 4 for 4 in save opportunities.
Well, has not walked a batter. I mean, that's what he has done throughout his career. He throws strikes, good command. He actually has had very good command of his fastball and getting some strikeouts with it. Hasn't pitched since Monday, so he is well rested.
Ryan, with number 7 on the year, has 26 RBIs this season. An 8th inning 2-run homer to bring the Brewers from a 2-1 deficit to a 3-2 lead. And now Hoffman to face Aaron Miles. Miles in there for the injured Aramis Ramirez. Miles, Hoffpower, and Bradley. Strike.
Key to his success, Trevor Hoffman, get ahead with the fastball, then put him away with the changeup. A lot of hitters go up there looking for the changeup, so he's been throwing a lot of fastballs lately. Here comes another.
Shook off the change. And a fastball missed. In his last save here at Miller Park, Hoffman faced the Diamondbacks. He threw 8 pitches. to retire the side in order, and only 2 changeups in those 8 pitches. 2 balls and a strike on Miles. 2-2. And as a hitter, you stand up there and go, why did I swing at that? That was the one I could have handled.
Yeah, well, you go up there and look for changeup. I mean, pretty good chance you're going to see one. But he has such good command of the fastball that even if you're looking for it, he's got it on the corner.
Coming back with a fastball. Struck him out.
Almost on cue. Right there. Exactly what we've been talking about. Aaron Miles was up there looking changeup. He never got one. And the fastball right on the outside corner. I mean, you can't walk it across there any better. Bingo. Kendall doesn't even move the glove.
Boy, and how much fun is Jason Kendall having catching the all-time saves leader? Puts it right on the dot again. Only adds to the drama here. Off power with big power. Changeup.
Nasty.
That's the pitch that will send him to Cooperstown. 0-2.
Exactly what we've been saying. Right on the outside corner. Doesn't catch any white. Right on the black.
Milton Bradley now.
Old Milton better be swinging. Had a nice argument last time up with Tom Hallion.
Comes down to their last out. 3-2 Brewers in the 9th. Bradley and Hoffman were teammates in San Diego in 07. The 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. Bradley homered in the 5th. Put the Cubs on the board. Three and 1. Close pitch.
Not often you see Trevor come inside in these situations. You figure Bradley's looking away, tried to shoot the inside corner.
Big pitch here, 3-1. And a changeup rolled over to Fielder. He'll take it himself. And Trevor Hoffman collects save number 5, and the Brewers win a thriller tonight at Miller Park. Wow, what a ball game. What a ball game tonight, folks. For the 10th time, the Brewers have come back to win. And a sellout crowd of 42,000 enjoying every minute